paper, scissors. All right, it seems like the scissors beats the paper just as always as we head into game number 3. TLID against ONIC Esports once more. As TLID on blue side, ONIC Esports on red. I love the technicality between Carry and Harith. It really comes down to who moves first, who strikes first.
Yeah, both of them accepted it's like, you know what? We both need to provide the damage for our teams, but we're both putting ourselves in the worst and most dangerous possible situations.
Even in a one-on-one, right? Like whoever touches the other first wins the fight. It's that straightforward.
That's pretty much it. Based on the testing that we did in trying to get the beats of the community, most of the time Carry should be able to defeat Harith in lane, or if not completely defeated, the Harith might just be able to level things out to see who's gonna get what. But Kyrie got the Lizard of Fabian.
Yeah, the red tree still on point as always. You know, the community also has been kind of talking a lot about Fabian and Kyrie, right? Like the old gen, the Sky Kings, and the new generation of junglers and all. Fabian has already caught up, and Kyrie is no longer the untouchable. And to that, I agree. He definitely isn't untouchable anymore, but he still got the chops. I mean, Kyrie, he's still playing to that optimal level that we know of him as the Prince. And engaged on the bottom bush, Revitalize is pop, but man, the damage from Liquid ID is disgusting. ONIC Esports tried to fight a 2v4 and it ended horribly.
Yeah. Okay, Team Liquid ID, again, we did mention it would just be about the trading at the center of the map, the early trades, who executes better. And right now, it looks like, because of the straightforward approach of an alpha, it's the easier one to use. And Sans trying to get Widdy, but Widdy just dancing around all of the feathered airstrike hits.
Absolutely.
Well, he got blasted for like one.
Yeah, absolutely stout on Sans. And even forcing out the flicker, Yehescu, the one doing that. Suns! It's gonna go down to the bats at the very end. Kyrie wants to take out Yehescu with Keyboy at the helm, but Dire Cyclone gets him away. Aaron Shiki covers that escape route. It seems to be a cascading effect. TLID really pulling on the strings of ONIC.
Yeah, after the good start of ONIC Esports, game number 1, now it seems like TLID have really woke them up, and they're really just executing better in the early game now for 2 straight games in a row. They're reading the rotations of Keyboy and Sans. They know which right trades to take. And now since Fabian is on an alpha, it's a jungler that you don't really want to invade too much compared to if you were invading a Joy, then Fabian's safe.
Try and kill Aran, but it's not easy. Aran even has the Vengeance. Lower's pathway drop down. He is out of there. And Liquid ID arriving with backup. Fabian, Yehescu, Widdy. Uh-oh, Kyrie getting caught out. Gets away in time, but not for long. Feather Airstrike committed. Another fight. ONIC Esports will be able to trade Fabian in return. Keyboy surviving with a Revitalize. Heals himself out. Aran finally falls. And TLID gets punished.
Whoa, the sheer long teamfight strength of an Edith that was able to use a Primal Wrath at full charge. Sans being able to free it and a safe distance as well. Turned that around for ONIC Esports. It's still a win for Team Liquid ID, but ONIC Esports balanced out what could have been an even worse situation for them.
And just like Game 2, Aaron Shiki has a slight advantage over Severo in that lane. Kyrie walks away with a bit of extra XP, but Fabian is still a level up. So either way, TLID in these objective takes, they're going to have a slightly better time. And speaking of technicalities, I do feel like in these team fights, as ONIC, there's a lot more things to consider, considering how mobile TLID is. Speaking of mobility, they're going to go on to Ludby, and he is dead. Keyboy so late to the party, has to just back off.
Oh, not the right time or positioning there for Ludby with the turtle so close to spawning. That's usually a signal for both the XP laners to stay away from the river as far as you can. Stay closer to the wall to increase your chances of being able to walk back to the turret. But Ludby without a flicker meant that he just had to accept that. You're not going to waste your ultimate trying to survive that scenario.
I also respect how fast TLID moves. They're already on the top side. The turtle just dies. The Barrow knows this, tries to blow up Widdy, but doesn't have the damage just yet, so we have to settle for what's available. In fact, Widdy does have the Flash of the Oasis already. Went for the instantly, so didn't complete the tier 2 boots, didn't need it.
Yeah, of course you had to rush it in this scenario. Other than just being the best item from Matilda, you have to match the Revitalize that Keyboy has, the consistent stream of healing, so that you can survive longer in extended engagements, which we saw that, well, the Edith fares well at. Now, Team Liquid ID will be able to take down this turret, solidifying the lead of Aaron Shiki and the victory of Aaron Shiki against Severo in the gold lane. 4,000 to 3,400 and counting in terms of the gold comparison between the Harith and Carry. So now ONIC Esports has to be careful because Team Liquid ID could just continue being aggressive.
Sounds used to the S, right? Lupi with
Keyboy?
the ult as well. Keyboy, he's gonna try to ult away. Staggered the first time, but gets it through the second. So they defend the mid turret as Kyrie goes on the counter jungling expedition, takes the orange buff. Is this recall gonna come true? It will in time. Kyrie gets out.
Okay, so Fabian now in a much better scenario, considering he's not a jungler that's easily bullied in lane. And of course, his kill, actually, Keyboy was forced to use the AOG there because he was clipped by the Sanguine Claws right at the tip of it. So the Sicilian pick coming in big.
I would say that at least Kyrie has been able to catch up in terms of level, right? Went on the counter jungle. In fact, he's now ahead of Fabian. Keyboy this time won't be able to get away, slain by Witty.
Yeah, Team Liquid ID just look very comfortable right now. Their rotational speed, their timings, Witty and Fabian, again, making or reminding us why this combo of theirs is so feared. The Matilda and the Alpha together, they're just ticking all the right boxes.
Now the attention turns over to Severo as he is now getting further and further behind Aaron Shiki, just thanks to the early pressure from TLID, who will get this third turtle without any form of contest. And ONIC, just like Game 2, will have to just bite the bullet, right? Play from behind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing for their lineup is that because they do have the Farsa with them, they have an Edith as well. They should do relatively good in terms of defending when it gets to the siege moment, because it's tough to see a scenario right now where ONIC Esports come back from this in a pretty level standing. It's gonna have to come from them defending from within their own base, because Team Liquid ID just rotate faster. Their damage is so much more right now.
That's a feint as well from Aran, forcing the flicker from Severo with none of his teammates there. That's how strong they feel. I mean, on top of that, I mean, Keyboy hasn't really gotten any magic resist, right? His first item is a Dominus Ice. And most of the damage that's killing him right now is magic damage.
Yeah, at this point, I think he's just thinking, oh man, Radiant Armor, Athena Shield, which one am I going to go
Twilight?
for, dude? Twilight, because it's just also a lot of burst. So the second item for Keyboy is crucial, and Lutpi.
Once more, the sacrificial lamb of ONIC, and this is gonna snowball from bad to worse. Top tier 2 already down, and it's the long lane, right? That's what the first lot spawning bottom. The holy shoe is gonna pop. ONIC has a lot of housekeeping that they need to do.
Yeah, and yeah, so night and day from what we saw in game number 1, where again ONIC Esports just ran over Team Liquid ID. Now this is more of like the Team Liquid ID we saw in the group stage, in the early days of the playoffs, before meeting ONIC Philippines, before that game 1 in this series. This is just them reminding why they went into the playoffs with a perfect record so far, and it's just classic Liquid ID that we're seeing right now. The very decisive rotations, no hesitation at all. Across the map, every position won their respective trades.
Keyboy, he just disappears again. Not enough magic resist to frontline against TLID. So this, I mean, what do you do as ONIC at this point, right? This Lord is most likely going to be gone. And Kyrie has been playing cross-map for the past 3-4 minutes, right? It's the only thing that he could do. But at one point, you would have to mount that defense against TLID. And with this 5k lead and, you know, Witty being on this Matilda, what is the move for ONIC?
Well, I'm thinking, based on how Team Liquid ID are playing right now, they are covering the sides. Let's see if Team Liquid ID will do their usual thing of they overcommit into one lane, hence leaving another lane open to get split pushed. But even if they go get that, again, they just rotate so fast, their pokes way too much. Yeah, it's really looking like ONIC Esports will just have to turn this around from their own base.
I'm very, very worried about Keyboy right now. He goes back to the whole, he's the only initiator. And Lupi, he's not in the position to provide those kind of utilities, right? It's like game 2, but worse.
Yeah, exactly. Now, they can't even get into the right position. All the pokes from this Sicilian pick. The range, the crowd control, Liquid ID, they're playing this perfectly. No other way to put it. They're just playing so well right now to their strengths and to the weaknesses of ONIC.
Savera wants to really walk up and help his team in any way, but there's just no avenues, despite the tools that ONIC have, or don't have in this case, TLID, looking to brute force their way into a game 3 win. Fabian just frontlines everything, Winter Crown to buy time. The Lord helping them up. ONIC Esports needs to mount a defense of their life, and so far, they're still able to do so, but not for long. TLID, they have the wave, they have the damage, they have the members, and they almost clear it out, but the fresh wave mid will secure that win. Team Liquid Indonesia locks in their second win of this best of 5.
After that Game 1 win, Team Liquid ID have woken up. The Stallions are marching across the field and the cavalry is 100% back and on, as the old Sky Kings can just watch as they get trampled. It's match point for Liquid.
Boys, this is quite the game. The CC chain coming in from TLID near perfect. How many times did we see Lippy unfortunately not get his ult off? Oh boy, I was getting frustrated. I was getting mad. I was just like, why can't you press that one button? That one button makes all the difference.
Yeah, and what